Sagare gapagare gapada pagare ga sare
तेरी यादों का तेरी याद में निहा 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 तेरी याद 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 तेरी याद.
Welcome one and all to the Unified Premier League Week 1, day number 2. I'm Cat 3K. That's Camel here to take you through the second matchup, what's going to be a decently long season, a double round robin for these two groups of 6. And of course, 8 of those teams making the playoffs for $5,000, Camel. You looking forward to this one?
I'm looking forward to it indeed. We have Converse Esports going up against the Kingsmen. Should be an exciting match. We finally have all the players ready and set up in the lobby, and we have done the map and bans,
Yep.
the map bans, so we'll see what those will be. It's going to be actually Ascent for the first map here, and Kingsmen have elected to start on the attacking side.
Yeah, that they have. So we'll see the Valkyries over on the defensive side of things. For map number 2, we'll walk over to Haven, and that'll be the Kingsmen pick as they start yet again, well, on attack. So we the same trend for them. Hopefully that works out for them quite nicely because these maps pretty similar in the way they're played out, pretty common as well. So no real surprise to get us there. And then once we jump into that decider, it is going to be Icebox to wrap up the day. And once again, where Kingsmen Camel, they're on the offense.
Seems like Kingsmen will have to work around that attack and hopefully make the best of it. But regardless, we'll see if they are able to set the tempo early on into these games, and we'll see what the case is with these two teams. Should be getting into Agent Select very shortly. But Catnator, what are we expecting on Ascent here in this first game? Definitely some staple picks that we know to expect, but any surprises you're potentially looking for?
Fantastic question. Honestly, we've seen a lot of KO start to slowly get worked, a lot of Chamber, not typically both together, but one or the other getting involved just a little bit here in the meta as teams start to try out this nuanced utility. But of course, it always depends on how these teams theory craft on their own time. Much more prevalent to play an agent that you're going to feel good on than to play an agent that you feel is good for other teams, if you know what I mean. I will tell you, though, that Converse is 1-0 right now. We've got an 0-1 Kingsman team. So Kingsman, regardless of how they feel in terms of maps, they've got to feel good series-wise because they really do need to start getting wins early. We talked about it in these two groups that only 8 of them make their way into the playoffs. So it's incredibly important for these teams to start winning early. You never want to go down early in the season and then try to figure out a way to jump back up.
No, absolutely. You always want to start off well. Every one of these wins counts, especially considering how, little action there is. But the double round robin here, it looks like we are going to be getting into Agent Select for this game. Number 1 will be Converse going up against Kingsman, and already the Reyna being locked in by Dr. Turtles.
Okay.
And, it's a very aggressive choice.
Yep.
He's going to have to, make some space, get some frags, and alleviate some of the pressure of this Kingsman offense.
Yeah, there's a lot of work to be done for Reynas, and we'll get that story on both sides of the board here. So there's a little bit of a raid boss potential for both of these teams. And when you get 2 Reynas back and back, it really can come up to who plays the agent better a lot of these times. But that's going to be the support fragger from Kingsman at the very least. They're going to have that jet going forward. We know how prevalent a jet operator can be on a map like Ascent to lock down lanes such as Tile, to lock down A main early. We get jets on both sides of the board. So look at that. We're getting a little bit of a mirror match early here. Really depends on where these support utility agents want to go. We're going to get those initiators, both the Sovas. So looking pretty comfortable right now. A double initiator setup comes out. Double duelist, double initiator is very interesting for Ascent. Mid control going to be hard for the Kingsmen early here as they finally lock in that Astra. They've got no information utility in terms of Sentinels. So locking down mid is very hard. Locking down Killjoy.
Yeah, but of the breach pick, definitely an interesting choice, unique option for Wes to look for these aggressive angles. We'll see with that a double initiator if they are able to get things going. But here we go, game number 1 in this best of 3 between Converse and the Kingsmen. Day 2 of this week 1 in the Unified Premier League. And as we glance over the beautiful scenery here, we can see how the Kingsmen will try and start out this game number 1, try to start out this round number 1 on pistol on the right note, and it looks like it's going to be a potential stack towards A, maybe looking towards cat.
No, most certainly. This is going to come down straight to A. No one even splitting for the top of mid just yet, so we could get a very aggressive pistol. Not too out of the ordinary to see. So there's a lot of chance for momentum here early for Kingsman. All depends. Okay, we'll get the jet to start to work a cat split just a little bit. Early one way going to come out. They'll put that jet very deep into close archway. That's scary.
And with the Sheriff, it only really takes one for Lakirio to get things going. You see KDN stagnant. He's got this recon art. He's got the question is, will the beat come in? Dr. Turtle's going to be in for one. They spot out Darkness as well. He's going to look for more. He's got the shots raining in. He's going to be able to find Dr. Turtles and somehow dismiss away to safety and a good 1-for-1 trade to start things off as Kingsman will push the cavalry in towards the side. A good trade there. Paco takes out Blitz. And Darkest still barricaded behind. He's got a flanker to worry about and somehow takes down I Did Everything. A huge pick to make this a 3-for-2 trade.
Exactly why that spot early is scary. You get caught out, you get fragged. It's just like that. They have that one opportunity to find a frag, and even then, the double swings are coming down in waves.
Concealment.
Smokes are going to come out as well. They spot the recon dart. KDN gets rid of that immediately. Wildfire, along with Darkest, will push as a collective unit, but KDN spots out one. Really feeling it there, but Brain Dead Aimer is still there in time and gets the trades and gets the kills. It's controlled chaos for Converse, and they walk away with the pistol round win.
A lot went into that late lurk coming through from the Kingsmen. You saw they pushed just I Did Everything, just the jet, to late push up towards Cat. Got their way in. Fortunately, got caught by the Reyna who steps out. That Nebula is able to find that frag, and it just kind of shuts down all the hope for that play. They really put a lot on the jet there to make it through door and make disruptions happen. It's not quite able to get found, and Converse just hit the shots, man. Make it happen. They're able to find themselves a retake, just barely in the end of things, but barely still wins your rounds.
Player I'm going to be watching for here, definitely going to be Darkest, who opts in to this Vandal. One thing clearly not like the other, a very aggressive choice here, really looking to push the tempo of this defensive side as I Did Everything slowly but surely. Will conservatively work his way through mid, but the alarm bot will be triggered and destroyed. It's now Brain Dead Aimer. It's a bit of an idea of what these players are. Will use a scout drone, and B main's going to be pushed up. Darkest going to be good for one towards A, and the aggressive push through A is now going to allow Wildfire to gain another kill as well, and all the kills start rolling in for Converse.
But they do, they'll swing Cat and they'll finish the job. That's the only thing about putting everybody on your offensive side default into mid. You don't have presence anywhere else. You allow the defensive side to take those aggressive angles and start to move for early info. It's just unfortunate, kind of. I mean, usually you don't really see teams try to push that issue, but hey, I mean, if there's no contact made, if there's no early aggression, who's to say they're not going to? And that's just another factor of not having an info sentinel. You don't get a chamber for trademarks. You don't get a nano swarm. You don't get alarm bots. All that good stuff. And it means that that flank is wide open, and that it was.
This is the chance, though, for the Kingsmen to start to really get aggressive here, but that shock dart will be ducked from by Wes, who continues to push forward. He's got Darkest right in front of him. It's going to be a crucial trade as Darkest spots down one, will continue the assault, but Wes takes down his head and bludgeons the Reyna early on. So now a 5-4 setting, and it looks like King will take this pressure through mid, but Lakirio in a very precarious situation. It's going to be stuffed up. I Did Everything. A 1v1 here, and it's going to go the way of Kingsmen, who win that duel out and now have a 5v3 advantage.
Very good reaction from this round to the last here from Kingsmen. They recognize this team pushed early. We don't have util for it, so we've got to actually manually watch it. That they do. They expected both pushes to come through and capitalized.
Now it's going to be the push inside. I Did Everything with 8 HP. It's got to be so careful. There's the flash out to clear sight. It's going to be a timing game here with Blitz right on the edge as I Did Everything. They will not end up peeking. Paco goes to the plant, now puts the onus on Converse to make a move. Wildfire, be good for one. Brain Dead Aimer popping off there with the shots of his own. KDN gets rifled down, now a 3v3 setting. Somehow, some way, Converse are finding avenues, finding angles to win these trades. Now it's going to be Blitz marching his way forward. Paco, good for one. Not a 1v2, but it's almost a formality, and it will be Wildfire. sneaks his way inside and gets the defuse. 3-0 for Converse.
Clean execute from Kingsmen. They recognize their advantages early in the round. They get the numbers advantage and then make their way into sight in that open gap. Converse just do a pretty dang good job of playing as a team on the retake. And of course, always helpful as well when you've got a little bit of extra utility going in to actually make those plays happen. And honestly, man, sometimes, Camel, you do everything right for your post plan and you just get outgunned.
And right now, 3-0, and Lakirio doesn't even have a kill yet. Hasn't really had any chances, just a couple. Now picking up this operator. It'll be interesting to see if Kingsmen expect this, and they have the breach to make it difficult for Lakirio. We'll see if that doesn't being the case, as this op shot will be crucial here.
He plays the same angle.
Sit in the same spot as pistol round, and I did everything. Will slowly work his way out.
And you see that pre-fire come through too. See that pre-fire come through from I did everything. You can tell he recognized it's an angle that could get played. The intuition is there. The shot obviously goes wide because they're sitting in a nebula one way. So all good. But that should be a sign for Lakirio maybe to step out early. Looks like he's going to play chicken with it, looking for the repeak. And that just might be what he gets. In the meantime, Reyna's got all this room outside of lobby.
The shot comes
Oh,
in.
what is that?
Interrupted. He'll be okay. He'll scurry away to safety. That could have been bad.
Tailwind into turret. That's so awkward and so unfortunate, but he gets out, and now we got an awkward scenario coming up for the attacking side here. As Reyna, as I mentioned, stuck all the way into lobby, now is in tile. He's going to hear all this movement, has huge positionings for a double, triple kill coming up.
Oh, Wildfire's got the cross as well. They're going to be in an absolute shooting gallery, but Hawk will be able to trade one back. The transfer for Blitz is good. And now a 3v1, and Dr. Turtles hunkered down inside of Sabrosi. He's got so many bullets to work with, but the dinks not coming in. Only one towards Brain. He had Aimer and Blitz. Shatters his way inside, collapses Dr. Turtles. Takes that 4th round win for Converse, feeling good here in game number 1.
Yeah, they'll get what they can there. They're playing the eco. They're able to find 2 frags. You take what you can get. You move on to the next. Now they'll buy back up. This, though, of course, Camel, we start to work into ping-pong economics. They lose this round. They go straight back to the save, and then we get a long road to recovery for this team.
Crucially, though, operator still in Lakirio's hand, so they can keep that up. They can keep that economy flowing. Like you said, it will be difficult for Kingsmen to rebound in this game, as I did everything. Once again, advance forward through mid, looking towards Cat, and Darkest has made it difficult. No stars will force his exit, and I did everything. Postures for an aggressive trade against Darkest. The shots rain in. Both men stand their ground for the time being. All utility available for I did everything, and Blitz is on this flank as well, waiting. And a good shot for Lakirio towards the back half. Over towards A. It's the same spot as before. He's been holding it every single round.
That he has, and he's able to, because of this defensive default. They take so much time. We're getting some Reyna contact right now through B main. So back off of it. Just before the danger arrives, fortunate they'll break a Lombard in mid. They'll start to take the space, but that's the only space that they have. So they don't have the lanes yet to execute. Still 2 players going to be towards the B side of things. So default's successful in one area, but they have so much more map they need to get.
If I did everything drives towards A, it's pretty much going to confirm B to be the push, and he still hasn't moved from that position. Slowly but surely, Paco and the rest of Kingsmen working their way inside mid, and that kill goes the way of Blitz. Darkest gets one more. Up the heel, he finds Paco, and the dominoes are flowing right now for Converse, and Dr. Turtles stuck and sucked down, and Brain Dead Aimer takes the kill and takes off his head. Converse 5-0. Everything rolling and flowing in their favor. Lakirio keeps that operator, and every angle is just barred for entry for the Kingsmen.
Yeah, Converse is doing an absolutely fantastic job of zoning right now into mid, forcing the team to play around that alarm bot. In the moment that they get information, they'll move one over. You see Darkest comes out of the double hold Cat, instead moves to mid to make those plays, to find those frags. Such incredible zoning happening right now. And you see the presence from A main has really dwindled, as Lakirio yet again is going to be there with an operator.
The ultimates can be a factor as Wildfire takes off I did everything's head, and Lakirio gets spotted as well. So once again, things still going good for the Kingsmen, or excuse me, the Converse is Darkest. Take down Wes. Partial shots from KDN. Will be good for a bit of chip damage. That's about it. And Converse, once again, sturdy on this defensive side, getting kills so early on in the round, and the Kingsmen just have no response to this.
Yeah, it's been a very stagnated default, which is hard to do against so much utility. Dr. Turtles will peek out lane. We'll find Blitz, and we'll take some bullets, so he'll fall. That leaves just 2 to lobby now. So they'll tuck back. KDN stuck in the dart. He'll fall. And Wildfire will take both. Falls for Converse. Now, wouldn't be shocked to see a timeout come out from the Kingsmen, and hopefully that timeout would warrant a conversation about utility here to push that operator off early. See them so afraid to play A main, but they've got a breach, man. They've got 2 flashes. They've got an aftershock. They can deal with it. They really can. They got the fault line to work with as well. They can send that angle off early. I really hope this push we get to see some of that breach utility utilized, because this is the one area where they actually are going to have a chance to make something happen. It's the one spot where KJ Util isn't. Ironically, this round, they're actually going to place them there, but typically they haven't. So if they've got a chance, it's going to be here with breach util. There we go.
They're doing that. Lakiria going to be forced off. It's just that simple. And now I did everything. Gonna have a bit more space to play with. Like you said, the utility being used, the lockdown as well. There's the rolling thunder to counter, but because of this lockdown, it's making it so difficult for the Kingsmen to work inside of this. KDN from downtown takes down Blitz. And the rotation will come in with a man advantage for the Kingsmen. It feels like the first time all game, and now the divide will be used to split this map in half, and it will lead I did everything over towards B inside of Market, and KDN will spot out Wildfire as well, so the bomb will be rotated over towards B.
All right, the fake's been good. They've been able to get themselves into sight. Just need to hold on to things. They'll send I did everything all the way out towards CT. He'll take Knife. Haven't found a frag just yet. We'll get the head low. We'll dodge the shot to Darkest. Now back in the angle with the Sheriff, and he's taken out just like that. So even numbers yet again. The post plant. Can they hold on 3-on-3?
We're able to find 1 kill. Paco narrowly takes down Brain Dead Aimer. Now a 3v3 situation, a scenario that Converse have won time in and time out. Dr. Turtles with 31 HP. He's got the Empress, but he'll die to a blow of the wind. Wes will use some of the shield to buy out time. Lakirio narrowly escapes death. He'll end up falling. KDN as well finds Wildfire, and now Darkest in a 1v2 situation. He has no idea where these players are. Going to spot Dr. Turtles and take him out. Now in a 1v1 situation, he does not have the shots, and Wes picks up the first round for the Kingsmen. They claim the op as well. And finally, something to be happy about in the Kingsmen camp.
There we go. All that breach utility early round is going to force the operator away from A main to back of site. Only issue is you still got the Nano Swarm. You still got the Gravity Well combination, so no one's able to help in if the Jet was to jump forward. So I did everything's actually going to wait. They're going to throw, instead, Rolling Thunder towards site. They'll throw a fake Astral Wall to come as well to get them into the B site. Tons of trades go back and forth. At the end of the day, they are able to hold strong in the post plant thanks to Wes winning the 1v1 to get themselves a round win. Now they can win one more. The eco cemented just a bit. They get a chance to come back.
Now I did everything with this operator. So much here, but the barrel is spotted by Darkest, and he plays the patient game, and Paco is well falling, and they're just falling like flies here. Darkest good for 1 more, and Wes in a precarious situation. He'll spot out 1, but the molly's there. Wildfire confirms it and snuffs out the torch that was Wes, who won that last round for the Kingsmen. But Converse respond right back with a round of their own and make this 7-1.
Kevo, I feel like we just had this conversation. This team, we know, in terms of defensive setup, that Kingsman is not going to be able to run thin defaults because there's too much utility to work against. And then what do we see happen? After winning a round off of a clean burst execute, they opt instead to go back to defaults. They spread thin, they go for early peaks, and they just lose the fight. I feel like we've learned nothing from the round they just won.
Something's got to change. Somebody has to step up in a big way. The Empress is available for the Kingsmen. We'll see if that does end up being the case. But on the Converse side, you have both Duelist Ultimates as well as the Cosmic Divide. So now Wes, another difficult situation to work on. The timing is going to be massive over towards A main. But in the meanwhile, Darkest having a playground here over towards mid. The shots are not finding their target, and he paints a picture around Paco's skull, who's got the Sheriff to work with. The shots are flying forward from Blitz as well as Wildfire, who weaves his way through traffic, picks up the kill in the Astra. And now a 4v2, everything in favor of Converse. As now the Kingsman walking into the barrel of Lakirio, who's still lying in wait, prowling for his moment to strike.
He is that operator still. It doesn't move off A main, man. Even after all this early contact, still ready and wait. Oh, the first shot! It will go wide, so there's an opportunity for this push to come through. The rotations are already there for Converse. They're already to scaffold, and now the Kingsmen stunted. This was their one opportunity to find their way into sight to at least get a spike plant, and now they have to rethink. 30 seconds remain. There's time to rotate, but who do they rotate into? Staying to Wildfire, and there's nowhere for this team to go. The pinch will be on, and well, they'll be crushed. It's 8-1 for Converse.
Converse feeling themselves here, 8-1. Kirio, it's felt like he's added this operator since round 3, and for the time being, everything is going Converse's way. And the thing is, with this double initiator Concatenator, you'd think that the Kingsmen would have a good time with this Breach Sova combo, but like you said, it's been very difficult for them to actually get onto site with more than 4 members alive.
Yeah, it's very interesting. They have the utility, right, to get this early information and to push players off of angles, and we're just not really seeing it utilized a ton. The one round where we really did, I mean, got faked off right afterwards, but at the very least, we got to see it, right? We got to see something, and what looks to be attack pause here, so hopefully that is from the Kingsmen. Hopefully they're going to think about it just a little bit. They still got 3 rounds to work with, so I know what you're thinking, chat. Hey, isn't it too late, man? Haven't they lost enough rounds? But there's a significant difference between 11-1 and 8-4, Camel. So there's definitely still a conversation to be had here. I really do, I said it in round 6, hopefully we get a second to think about where the utility is going and why it's going where it is. Because we haven't really seen this team play a ton off each other in terms of versus executing, and I feel like that is the one way they're going to find opportunity.
Yeah, looks like it was just an internet crash here, so we'll make sure everything is all set up and ready to go. But yeah, tough indeed. Looks like it was Dr. Turtles, since he's the only one who hasn't bought on our screen, so thinking it's him. But regardless, for the Kingsmen, definitely a good bit of time to, like you said, you know, rethink and regroup, because clearly the utility has not been in their favor. Even when they did have all of that utility to play with, it still just did not matter. So we'll see if potentially there's, you know, some sort of different strategies that the Kingsmen will opt in to employ. But regardless, the defense from Converse has looked stunning.
Yeah, absolutely has. And there's a lot of times we talk about teams and how they don't ever reallocate resources. They just kind of keep the same defensive setup where it is. And that's been the story for Converse. And it's been fine because there hasn't been a need to move. It's just been working. They're able to put just manual labor over towards Cat. Instead, the KJ utility can go towards mid and B. And it really limits the options for the Kingsmen here because of how quickly Lucario is able to get his operator in his hands and how stellar of a job he's done locking down A main. Not even necessarily getting frags. I mean, not to say he doesn't have a couple, but he hasn't really needed to get frags. He just needs to exist in that space. Even the rounds we've seen early peaks and he's whiffed on the shots, he's still there. The presence is still made, and it really makes the Kingsmen rethink if they want to play the op at all. And then having that extra utility, we've seen a couple KJ Nano Swarms go there. We've seen Gravity Wells go there. It means that even if they do finally force the operator off, they still can't play the angle.
Well, we're already in the game here. Looks like the Kingsmen are back to where they started. Is this just a replay? Because it's already a 4v3 in favor of Converse, who have moved their way so gracefully through mid and have taken control with ease. And the Kingsmen put themselves right back to where they started, a 2v4. They have the spike, but there's nowhere to go with Blitz, wrapping around the corner, unraveling this Kingsman attack. And now Paco in a 1v4, a formality. And he'll be tucked away to bed. Night-night there. Brain Dead Aimer says not today. And Converse get their 9th round win.
Well,
I should play some
it's night-night for the team. It's night-night for the money as well. It's gone to bed, and we'll be looking at a Eco waking up. Definitely, you could say that waking up on the wrong side of the bed, I'd say, Camel. So this team's going to be not cruising how they'd like to be. Unfortunately for them, it wasn't a tech pause. It was a tech pause instead. So they get that luxury. At least they used a timeout to then walk into that round. And Wes, well, he's walked into Wildfire early. Still, no lessons learned, man. It's been here every round.
It's truly unfortunate. And now Darkness sitting in a great position to find 2 quick kills. And Dr. Turtles in no man's land, a desolate wasteland for Kingsmen to deal with. And Converse are controlling Ascent with such immaculate precision here, Catnator. There's nothing the Kingsmen can do. This is their chance. You have the Rolling Thunder, you have the Astral Divide, the Cosmic Dice, you have the Empress. We need to see a situation for the Kingsmen where they're using all ultimates at once and pushing this site.
It's ironic you say that. That's the one round we've actually seen them win, is when they used all these ultimates, these exact ultimates. in combination with one another, and that was a fake that went down through A main. As we talked about all that utility, immediately they got pushed away once again. And they used Cosmic Divide to instead work away. Okay, first Rolling Thunder is going to be close, but not quite. And, well, nobody concussed. That means frags to come through. Wildfire to grab 2, make it a third as KDN stuck in Dart. A couple times we've seen him die that way now. Now that he's Paco Lobby, and, well, Blitz has that one all squared away from mid. It's 11-1. Converse feeling pretty dang good going into the second pistol.
Strong like a bull here on the defensive side was Converse, and now we switch things up and move ourselves over to attack. And for Converse, considering how they played towards defense, we saw how aggressive they were and pushing up through mid, through Cat. We'll see if that does end up becoming a factor here, but if you win this pistol round, Catnate, you're already one off of just winning the entire thing.
Right, this pistol round, so incredibly prevalent here for the Kingsmen to win. About to put the breach over towards Cat. He's going to be able to get flashes. Unfortunately, he's not a Sky, so there's no confirmation of those flashes hitting. He'll have to actually peek for it physically, which is always scary, but we'll see how that goes. They'll put the Astra into mid for quick rotations. Also be able to get early information to throw extra stars if they have them. We'll have to wait and see on that one, and I did everything. Okay.
All right.
Manual peek, first frag found. Looking for more, though. Very aggressive.
Stay down.
Oh, he's going to find you, Darkest. I'm the wiser, concealed himself inside of the smoke, and I did everything. Well, so far he has. Finds 2 quick kills. The shock dart will be used, force the dash back, and the rotation comes in for Converse, who now put themselves in a bit of a Kingsman situation. A 3v5 with the spike, and they're going to wrap around towards B.
The only difference here is that since there's no Sentinel, there's no utility they've got to break to actually work into the site. They just got to find players. Jump spot's going to come through from the Astra, so they got information. They've seen at least the KJ towards mid. Now the rest of the players through to B main. A lot of pressure on the random CT stare.
This is going to be so imperative here for Dr. Turtles to find at least 1 kill. He spots out the Astra. Will be forced to use the Leer. A blood-curdling push right now for Converse, and I did everything. He finds his third. Trying to look for the ace, and I did. Dr. Turtles falls down here, and Blitz claim the kill. Spike is planted, a 2v4 opportunity. And Paco at 12 HP, it's definitely a winnable circumstance for Converse if they find these shots, but looks like the Kingsmen will move as a collective unit. Here comes the cavalry, here comes the naval fleet barreling onto the site. Blitz is going to be good for 1. Great dead aimer, for the shots, he's good for 2. Can he find the 3rd? He does! Poetry in motion here for Converse, and they pick up their 12th round win.
Match point.
Did you hear that, Camel?
What is
Did you
it?
hear that? I hear taps in the distance, brother. Oh my goodness.
Oof.
I mean, that's a round that no one's watching thinking that Kingsmen can lose. Surely.
Yeah.
The retake is such a strong numbers of answers. Brain Dead Aimer says, well, you guys in chat, you're exactly that. You're brain dead. All I gotta do is hit a quick little 3-piece. Does just that, and suddenly, well, they won the round. It's actually unbelievable. There's so much momentum here. There should just be a roll to finish this map.
And they've already picked up 1. I did everything.
Okay.
Trying his damnness. He'll pick up a free ion and could use this to his advantage. It's going to be so crucial. Dash forward, aggressively moving his way inside. Going to be good for 3. And Lucario snuffs out the torch. I did everything. A madman, the lunatic fringe popping off there towards mid. And now a 3v2 opportunity for the Kingsmen. But we've seen Converse pull out miracles before, and it will have to be Lucario to really get things going with this dash available with the spike as well. He's got Paco right in front of him. There's one good shot from Paco right into the chest.
Bot coming back.
There will now be a push towards A. Dr. Turtles is there. He's good for 1. Can he find the shots? He does not. Paco does instead. The backup is there, and Converse lose their 2nd round.
I did everything is coming in hot. That play is insane, man. Grabs the first, picks up a Phantom, says, you know what? I'm going to tuck the drone by tailwinding into Nebula where I know the entire enemy team is able to find 1, and then instantly 180s for a 3rd on the round.
Need a drop.
If he can do stuff like this, there's a chance. There's actually a chance.
Just turned into prod for a split second, and that was what Kingsman needed. Just striking out, looking for this same angle with the Sheriff, and he finds Wildfire once again. They'll pop the daggers as well. And a barrage of bullets rain in from the Converse, who are trying to deal with this jet any way they can. The stars are going to range through as well. And I did everything. Tucked into this corner, waiting for his opportunity to strike, waiting for Wes off of this blind. That'll be the go signal here. As Lucario making this one difficult. Darkest does get blinded, but it will be forced away. Dagger still available for I did everything. He'll find one, dash away to safety, darting and dipping and diving away, doing everything he can to stay elusive and stay on top of these Converse heads. And now a 4v3, and still difficult for Converse to make the win. They have to make a move, and they will, taking out I did everything. Now Katie Eddie's just gonna peek out. He will be good for one 2v2 situation for Blitz. He's gotta look towards Gordon, he's gotta look towards Heaven as well. Paco in a very difficult spot to be in, but he finds one. Dr. Turtles finds the second. And the third round win for the Kingsmen, who stave off the Converse push.
Great range from Kingsmen there. Got a little concerning when we saw the first two, Door and Scaffold, wait quite a bit of time, but they definitely played to their advantages there. They let the team walk out just a little bit for them to have more advantageous angles as the defensive side. The moment they start shooting that Door player, an easy swing comes through to wrap things up. Clean for Kingsmen on the defense here, but plenty more rounds to go. This one's going to be, of course, Nico coming out of Converse. The Kingsmen wanting to keep guns alive here in this one, wanting to stay strong for their gun round, which will be right after this one.
It's straight through the smoke. Will be fine for the time being. Lacurio moves his way inside. More intel going the way of Lacurio. They'll spot the skull of Paco. One shot, one kill right between the eyes. He takes down the Astra. Now a difficult position for KDN, who gets taken out. The Embers will be popped, and Dr. Turtles stuffs that one out, takes two as well. He'll dip and dive back away to safety. It's been Converse tormenting this Kingsman attack. Now defensively, Kingsman have looked a lot more comfortable. Now we have to deal with that spike plant. They can play their own style, wait for these angles, wait for these peaks. Lacurio swerves his way inside. Will be able to find one and even things up between two.
They've info Dr. Turtles and start with the 2v1. They don't know about West, and he'll sneak out and been marked to find one. It's Dr. Turtles from CT Stair. We'll find Lucario, and the Kingsman team has found themselves 4-12. They do only walk out with 2 rifles, though. So you do have to work a little bit harder to get buys out into this round. Same story for Converse, though. So we're looking at that about equal economies going into this one.
Right there. Well, it ain't over till it's over. 12-4 here. Converse have looked a little bit shaky on this attacking side. We'll see if they can find some sort of success. And I did everything has been a great testament to this Kingsman defense. Has held this angle every single time. This time with the Vandal, before it was the Sheriff. And made a lot of noise. He does again, and Wildfire, the same one every single time. Does not having his greatest time over towards A-Main, but Converse still committed to this push. I did everything, gets taken down. And foiling the plan to the Kingsman defense, it will be Darkus sneaking his way in for Wez. And now the blind is gone, so it's only going to be the Leers to get back onto the site, maybe the Owl Drone as well. And the stars are going to be available for the Kingsmen. They need to use the Empress to get onto site. 12-4, you gotta win.
Converse going to have this divide here to block off all of Scaffold, make it that much harder for Kingsmen to find roots. Okay, they've opened one, and that's the divide gone as well. So Blitz, no value into this round. Make it a 3v3. The Empress yet to be popped for Dr. Turtles. Really thinking about it, but this wouldn't be a terrible round to throw it into. Meantime, they're just going to work the way all the way down towards Garden. Cheeky little angle, trying to catch one.
Aimer waiting for that start to pop. Darkus going to be good for one. Brain Dead Aimer finds the second, the third.
Attackers
goes Lacurio's way. You can tuck this one away with extra pillows and blankets. Catinator. Very simple game for Converse. They come out and dominate in that first round, winning this game 13-4. You know, there were spurts, there were moments where I did everything, potentially could have carried this team, but just not enough work was done in that first half for it to really matter at all.
Yeah, most certainly. And there's a little bit of bad news here.
Oh no.
For any of the Kingsman fans in the chat.
Oh no.
They start on the same side for the next 2 maps. Ooh. If we get to map 3. Ooh. So we're gonna have to see a stronger attacking side from this team. I did everything. Hey, when he got to choose the fights, when he got to choose the angle, he looked pretty dang good from there in A main, but he's got to be able to do that on his own terms on the attacking side here. It's going to be a rocky road for this team, Camel.
Yeah, never really felt like that double initiator comp that we were expecting really came to fruition here. So we'll see if, a difference in strategy or agent pick will be the result in a game 3, but we're going to have to wait and see. It's going to be Haven we're going to be going to next here between these 2 squads. We'll see what happens. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, that match, don't go anywhere.
तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद में निहा तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी यादों का तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद में निहा तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी यादों का तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद में निहा तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी यादों का तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद में निहा तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी यादों का तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद में निहा तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी यादों का तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद में निहा तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी यादों का तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद में निहा तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी यादों का तेरी याद तेरी याद तेरी याद में निहा
Welcome back, everyone, to week 1, day 2 of our matchup here between Converse Esports and the Kingsmen. After game 1 on Ascent, it was clearly not Kingsmen's day. Now they have a chance to regroup on Haven. We'll see what they can do here. And Catnator, what do you need to see change? Do you need to see some different agents? What do you think the problem was for Kingsmen? Because we saw on the defensive side, there were opportunities, there were spurts of confidence with this team, and the communication was there, but just on attack, that was where they struggled.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But you definitely tell that the workshopping had been done defensively. We got to see it with that breach at combination in terms of A main defenses. It's just, you got to see the same thing on the offense, right? And we talked about it as we got to the top of the show. You can play whoever you want. It don't matter. You just got to be able to cohesively play it as a unit. That's the most important part. Valorant is so sandboxy. There's so much room to bring new metas in that I love to see teams play off meta. Honestly, I prefer it. Really big T2 named Third Impact. They ran the breach for a very, very long time and were really good on it because teams didn't expect to see the breach pick come out. You just got to know how to play it as a unit, especially on that attacking side. So whatever they want to run here, remember, they're starting on attack again here on map number 2 of Haven. Whatever they got to run, they've really got to figure out how they can play it cohesively, and they've got to find an answer in terms of flanks, right? We saw a lot of times where flanks would come their way, whether it was the Jet or the Reyna. Somebody was getting in the back line of them and shutting down their default into mid. A lot of teams we see on Haven like the default into grass area. They're going to have the same problem of C long pushes, A short pushes, if they don't have some utility in terms of a Sentinel. That's why that Sentinel pick is so important. It locks down your flanks. So if they don't want to do that, they've got to instead play defaults for that presence.
Absolutely. We'll see if that does end up being the case. We'll see if that Sentinel does come out. The breach is, a decent pick on Haven. You have a lot of opportunity with that rolling thunder with the fault line, definitely over towards A and C long to get things done. We'll see if that does end up being the case as we do head in to Agent Select here for potentially Kingsman's last go at Converse Esports here. But already, Darkest was right back over to this Reyna. We'll see if anything does end up being the factor. I love the Yoru and Neon.
It's a couple Yorus too many, brother. Couple Yorus too many. CVU hovering the Omen. I don't think that's a troll pick. I'm interested to see how that one goes. We've seen a couple Bromans making their way back into the scene, actually, ironically. Thanks a lot, Sean Gares. Consistently playing it in ranked and slowly started to make a comeback. So we'll lose the Astra. So the Omen has a little bit less in terms of Sentinel utility, shutting things down, but the Chamber will make up for that. We'll supplement, and the Omen will get some rechargeable smokes. A little bit of fun to be had there. So we get to see a little bit of nuance from both sides, right? We get an Omen from CVU, and we'll get a Cypher to come out on the other side of things. Same with the Chamber. So we've got a little bit of interesting duels going on in terms of agents, in terms of meta picks. But hey, once again, if you're comfortable, you're comfortable.
Hey, you mentioned the flank being a problem, and what better agent to pick than Cypher?
Throw a trip on that thing.
Does shut down the flank and can make it a little more difficult to go for those pincer type of plays. And Lakirio is going to opt in for the Chamber pick. Love this option on Haven as well.
Oh, no, absolutely. The Chamber is so good for a map like Haven because of that rendezvous. It's not instantaneous. The couple, or about a second, if that, to snap and actually TP. But as soon as the snap goes down, you do TP out. And then it's got a little bit of range for the totems as well. So it's a quicker rotate option, too.
Well, as we get underway here, game number 2 between these two squads, we saw Converse come out in a blaze of glory, win that first game 13-4. We'll see how the Kingsmen can respond once again, starting on attack, once again having this onus of getting this spike down and working through this Converse utility. And we'll see if they can do that once again here. So it looks like a majority of these Kingsmen players will go towards A, but already the bottom lane will confirm at least that one is over. What's that area? We'll see if anything does come of that. But regardless, everyone will just back away a lot more default. But now Darkest aggressively moving through the window will spot the skull there of Wez and take the kill. Go for the healing as well. Will he find more shots onto Dr. Turtles, pelting each and every single member of the Kingsmen? And they start falling like dominoes, and we're back to where we started. Converse pushing so aggressively on the defensive side, and Darkest, he's gonna look for the ace. He's got a 4K. He's seething. He wants it. KDN, he's teabagging in front of the camera. He shoots through the smoke, and Brain Dead Aver takes the ace. Oh man, they're feeling themselves, Catnator.
Darkest made that 13-4, crafted into a Mario Mushroom and powered up, bro. What on earth from Darkest? No fear at all. We're 5 seconds into the round. He's already in window. He already has a 3K. Just like that. That's terrifying for Kingsmen. And that's honestly all up to just Darkest. There's nothing done wrong there. They're defaulting. They're chilling. They're vibing. The trips are set. You can't set a trip that deep. You never will. You can't get there anyway. There's a spawn wall. So, man, that's tough.
No more targets already. A couple of Vandals picked up as well. Brandon Amer's got to be careful. Takes a hell of a lot of damage. Will be forced to back away. Darkest, though, consistently finding these early frags and pushing right through mid like he owns the damn place. He's got no more place to work with. Wildfire out concealed in the shadows. He'll use the shotgun to buy time. He'll be good for 1. Can he find 2? It's going to be another kill for Wildfire. And a 3-2
just grabbed a free Vandal in mid.
Oh, that could be an option for KDN to work with. We'll see if that doesn't be a factor. I Did Everything actually picks it up and has the dash as well.
Yeah, they'll give it over to I Did Everything. Smart decision. He's got way more health. Mentioned the tailwind as well for the Jet player. They've got to get Spike, though. So they've traded a little bit of upgraded utility, but they've lost the Spike. So still plenty of work needs to be done for this team. And they'll be split for the moment. See everything watching out towards that grass side. Oh, that dart. It will go short. It'll hit just barely onto the doorpost. So KDN safe and sound from the scan. Now they got a chance to pinch. Are they expecting the CT player, though?
1 enemy remaining.
They are not.
They're not. And I Did Everything.
30
He's gotta
seconds
make his move. Waiting on it is Wildfire. And he sprays his way inside and finds the Jet. So early on, 2-0. Converse pick up right where they left off, Catnator, and it just feels like the confidence is surging through them. And now you see Blitz. He goes to the operator as well.
Okay, so once again, we got this team straight back to early operator, just like that. We know how much damage it can do early to really shut down laning for the Kingsmen. We'll see if that ends up being the same case. So they definitely were a team that struggled just a bit to adapt to actually pushing that op off the angle, and I don't think everything even expects it. We'll never know.
Hindsight 2020. We'll see now if once again Converse go for an early kill. And Licurio will now get on the pizza party, and he finds I Did Everything. That's been the hot hand for this Kingsmen roster. That's been who they turn to for these miracle plays. And once again, Darkest pushes forward, but Wes snuffs out the hot hand, and Darkest falls.
He falls back towards grass, and that's the lane to start. Okay, Wes let a clean one tap, so we shut down the operator for now. Of course, it's about to be recovered by the chamber. Another good operator option, actually. So, still value to be had there. This Omen on the off angle will be caught by a dog. Swings to, oh my god. How was it going to happen? Very good clear. Incredible breach and clear. Good utility for them as well, but they don't clear window. They don't expect the chamber to be tucking. He's able to find one. Won't grab the second one. Be disciplined enough to jump back, and now they get a 2v2 with the teammate.
We're bursting aggression here from the Kingsmen, looking to get things going and trying to make this one a game. They're going to get the bomb planted down.
30
Default
seconds
spot
left.
here, Dr. Turtles. Now the shock darts ran in. Good bit of chip damage, and Licurio going to be good for 1. Dr. Turtles doesn't expect it. And a 3K for the chamber. And the camera just narrowly can spot that bomb. Licurio will go for the tap, and they think he's over towards garage. KDN will make himself known momentarily. Licurio will go for the defuse. He'll look to get half. He'll look to get all of it as Wildfire makes it easy for him. More questions than answers for the Kingsmen after 3.
They grab that off before they defuse. Sitting down towards the back of B right now. He'll make it in time. All right, there we go. They do make the call to grab op first. Good stuff from Converse. Good stuff all the way around.
And now, for the Kingsmen, that was another good showing. That was a chance with them in a 2v2 situation. They get the bomb planted, and it's just so difficult to work out of that site. They wanted to just play for the post plant, and because Wes was gone, because Paco was dusted, he didn't have the stars, he didn't have the blinds to stall for time. It just made it very difficult.
Second bonus we've seen Converse convert now as well. Gives them such an early lead in games, gives them such a high margin. Because now we're back to the eco for Kingsmen. Around that they're probably just going to take straight down garage, just look for some early frags, and we'll be back to gun round once again. And we saw that ping pong start early for them last map, a chance to try to redeem themselves. The Darkest, well, it shut things down early.
Feeling it all game long, all series long, and Wildfire will use that Hunter's Fury, and Darkest good for 1 more. Lurking inside of mid. Wildfire gonna back up his teammate. Paco is none the wiser, gonna be forced to back away off of this fight. The engagement not going to be in his favor. Darkest good for 3, and he is feeling himself right now. Katie had a decent shot, but Darkest adds it on. 4 here for the Reyna. Confidence oozing through his veins, withstanding all of the Kingsmen pressure. Doesn't matter. He just pushes up and does what he wants, Catnator.
You could not put that any better way. He has absolutely been doing what he wants, and that's a perfect showing of that right there. Nice leader placement for him as well. He'll throw it so wide there to the window angle that he makes sure that he's isolating the 1vX for his team to make sure that window player can't get involved, can't swing without getting nearsighted, and they're able to take that first fight towards the close side of grass and then move to window player, so they get to keep everybody alive. They get to keep the guns and the economics flowing. Kingsmen will rebuy. Chance for them to start to get back into things. First fight comes towards long. Blitz will win that one. Second peek, though, not good. Quick trade.
Good trade, and a much-needed trade for this Kingsman roster as the Seekers now available for Wes, and I wonder if they'll opt in to this one. For the time being, it will be a slow but staggered push towards B as once again, it's aggressive peek out. They'll find 2. And now Paco in a very difficult spot to be in. We'll see if he does end up moving his way out before dying, and Darkest has his number. The Astro, I did everything not there in time, and the timing on brain dead aim reciting clearly. He is on top of things right now, fighting the shots, and Darkest adds insult to injury, and the Kingsmen, it's an agonizing offensive push. Once again, nothing is working in their favor, and people are dying way too early onto these rounds, Catnator.
Yeah, Converse is not willing to give them space. You see Kingsmen, they're trying to play for early information, and they're getting info, Camel, but they're not living after getting the info. The info is coming by way of dying. It's just so unfortunate. Converse is more than willing to go play these aggressive angles. And every single turn for Kingsmen, they try to peek in for the info. They try to peek in for space. And they end up having to take gunfights every step of the way. So you got to get some more equal defended early for the team. Okay, come on. Come on, man.
They're just toying with him. It's just so easy for the Converse just spraying through. Wes returns the favor, though. And Wildfire as well. Another kill through the wall. And everyone just having a field day right now with these wall bangs. And at the end of the dust here settling, it will be a 4v3 still in favor of Converse with the Empress available in the Kingsmen. Let's see if they end up going for this Seeker's play. They're at a man disadvantage, and Dr. Turtles gets a good kill onto Lacurio, adding on to this Kings of Bush, and that will be the ghost. They're going to pop these Seekers and go.
Well, they found their way into the site. Great flash as well, looking for the CT to clear it away. That makes it the plant going to 100% go down. Seekers will now make their way around, so we'll confirm what they kind of already knew. Everybody towards CT means no flank going to be on the way. Everybody jumps out of CT now. Wes will shoot Lear. First peeks to come through. Darkest will win that one. Right clicks from Blitz to find another, and Darkest to swing back to sight. Just doing Darkest things. So grab a 2K. They'll grab the defuse to go with it. 6-0 now for Converse. Really coming into their own. Once again, that's just heartbreaking for Kingsmen. They throw the CT. They get all the information. The crossfire set up quite nicely. But even then, they just get out-fragged.
Perseverance from Converse. They do not settle for a round loss. We're at this situation again. It was 6-0 last time around. Then we saw the turnaround. Then we saw a bit of options for the Kings. Let's see if they have woken up here after the 6-0 blitz from Converse, who are clearly feeling themselves. And it's been this double operator. It's been the difficulty pushing through these long extremities. So Kingsmen are honestly forced to move through mid, but that is where Darkest is lying in wait.
Darkest good to grab one early, lying in wait, and suddenly awake to find more frags. But it won't matter. Dr. Turtles has a nice shot with pushing away.
I know exactly where you
The grass control gain for now.
For now, but it's just going to be turned right back around. Kingsmen fall to 2 members. Wildfire looking for the knife, and he's playing Assassin's Creed. He takes down Dr. Turtles, and KDN falls down on top of Lacurio. That's a good kill to start things off for KDN in this 1v3, but the spike is a marathon's length away, and Blitz knows it. And he corrals KDN right into the corner, spots him. Takes them down 7-0 for Converse, and they are looking so good, Catnator.
Yeah, that they are. The knife comes through from Wildfire, and it doesn't just find the frag, but it's gone straight into the ball that was the Kingsman side, as they're absolutely deflated now. Back into their gun round, but hopefully and they can find some duct tape and patch some holes, because they're definitely going to need to here. They got grass control. They got some space to start to work. And then the moment they try to push into B, the moment they try to push in towards garage, there's players there. There's frags to be had. He inducted Paranoia. Huge opportunity for him to swing. This time he loses a teammate.
Darkest, a bit of trouble here. 7 HP. Spots Wes out of the corner of his eye. Finally, he'll go down, but Blitz.
Last player standing.
Wrap around the corner, he spots 2. Darting inside towards Wes. Collapses, takes down Blitz, but Wildfire returns the favor. And not only is Blitz a godly jet, he's a barber too. Taking names and giving haircuts at the same time, Catinator. And on top of it, 15-4 for Darkest. And now you're calling timeout. I mean, you know, better late than never, I guess. You know?
Yeah, better late than never.
It's tough.
Well, you know, he's a barber, man. You got to make sure he's got the extra time to fade it up, bro. He's got to be able to get the line in. I mean, if you don't cut in the line, what's the point of doing it in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe getting some line work done, and you get a chance to write some lines on the clipboard here to have a conversation on what is the change for them offensively. And honestly, I'm not even surprised to see Blitz run it down A short, man.
Yeah.
There was massive foreshadowing and him having an operator at his feet in Seaside and him saying, nah, I'm going to stick with the Vandal, even though I'm the Jet Opper. I'm going to stick with it. We should have known he was going to run it down. Exactly what happens. So now this team can take a second to say, okay, guys, they're running us down literally every angle. What if we just, I don't know, sit and spawn, let them run into us, take some free frags. Maybe we just run crazy and buy some judges. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's okay to relinquish some space if you're getting it back later on. It's not the end of the world, and we'll see if the Kingsmen can do that. I mean, they have the divide as well, you know, from Paco, along with this Empress from Dr. Turtles. We'll see if that does end up becoming a factor. I mean, potentially you can wall off, you know, a part of A and make it difficult for this operator to become of any value, but the daggers will be used.
Oh, that bird.
And that Blash will not spot out where this player is, so Blitz continues to be unknown, but I did everything. Has a sneaking suspicion. He's got to watch 2 angles at once. So difficult. Blitz paints a picture. Good for 1, good for 2. And the double peek is insane there for Converse. And now the Kingsmen, their plans have been thwarted and they have to back away with their tail between their legs.
The Converse rotation is very quick. They'll recognize, okay, they've already relinquished defenses. Guys, we might have to head away. Not they'll do. They'll walk back towards spawn. Only thing is, they don't have any trips on the flanks, so they have to actually go rework all these angles. They don't have any information at all. Darkest looking to get some manually. We'll walk all the way in towards window. And oh no, the Darkest show. Well, it's running reruns.
Oh, he's creating a cinema for us. He is the movie star in his own film. Gonna be fighting 1, fighting 2, fighting 3. And Darkest creating a showcase, an immaculate performance there. He's got the golden gun for a reason. He is the hot hand, 18-4 on the night in game number 2. Sensational play out of the arena.
Man, he teased them. They lined up and he dismissed the way to then come back into the angle.
Yeah.
Man, crossed them up. It's so tough right now for Kingsmen, man. They try to give us a new look. They say, forget the default, man. Let's play together. Let's work game main together. We'll just trade. They do so, and Darkest says, nah, no funny business, I'll come through.
Darkest has to pick 3 different players at once. He does not care. The confidence is there, and now Brain Dead Aimer fancies his chances. And
already up A main.
Once he's going to move in, he's going to find KDN. Wes trades it back. And the aggressive tendencies of Converse starting to be matched by the Kingsmen, but after it all, still a 3v3 and the Tour de Force still available for this chamber.
Managed to grab a gun here for the Kingsman side. Once again, it is their eco round. So the rest of the players going to still be on Sheriffs. They have another kill, but it's all the way in Garage, so they can't actually recover the gun. And now they look to take space over towards A. That will do just that. Sova working towards A, but going to be too late. So they are able to actually get the site to get the plant down, but their divide as well towards Heaven. That's going to give the information. Should seal the deal just a bit. Sova most certainly knows. Shock's going towards default. Spike hasn't quite reached there yet. He won't know, though. Can't hear the noise through the wall. Now looking to set up for the retake is Converse.
It's going to be a big decision here for Converse. How they play this out. Good bit of information there with the drone. The stars will be
the help player right here.
Aimer for the TP inside of the smoke. And they have absolutely no idea. He will be good for 1. Dr. Turtles trades it back and Wildfire is there. Spots Dr. Turtles, takes aim and takes fire. And a raging defense right now for Converse. They find another, they take another defuse. Even through the Astronaut, they are unfazed, unwavered, and unmatched on the defensive end.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. Omen play has started to slowly make its way back in, and because it's been so long since anyone's seen an Omen, all of that cheese shenanigans that used to be like you 180, you kill it every time, nobody knows anymore. You don't expect it anymore. You don't see it. Some brain-dead aimer is able to make what would look to be a brain-dead play to jump straight into a smoke. Obviously, you can hear the TP, but Kingsmen aren't going to expect it, man. When's the last time they played an Omen? Probably years ago, man, back in beta. So he's able to sneak out, grab one, and opens that CT crossfire that initially would have been heard from the help play.
Darkest once again teetering in that spot. He will finally be taken out as Dr. Turtles tees off and takes down the Reyna. But Wildfire on a bit of an escape route here, but he's going to have a couple tripwires to worry about, and he will be spotted and have to use some shock darts to stave off a re-aggressive Kingsman offense, who now look to push inside of Garage, and that slow field will be decent. But Braindead Aimer is none the wiser. Wildfire will be good for one, as here comes Braindead Aimer swatting away Dr. Turtles like a fly in the sky. And Kingsmen will now work their way back towards mid, over towards B, but the Jet is lying in wait over there. The Omen's in Garage, and every angle is blocked off here for the Kingsmen.
Once again, Converse has adapted. They've moved the angles quite nicely. Braindead will step ahead. The Astra and Stars.
Spike down
So
mid.
tough. Spike's gone. KDN will tuck some util, but he's got a 1v4 on his hands.
Cage triggered.
It's going to be difficult.
Tripwire
Spot
destroyed.
Wildfire, a bit of pop shots here. They're moving through the cage, concealed inside of Mystery. KDN weaves inside of the smoke. He'll be good for one, not going to find two, as Braindead Aimer right there inside. And for the Kingsmen, coping
Last
this
round
11-0
in the half.
scoreline. Going to be difficult the last round here of play. And Converse, if they win this one, they're on match point.
A little bit of deja vu coming back in fourth here for us. I like KDN's play, man, to work off the Cloudburst. Starting at the 1-1 with the Sova shots, just weren't quite found. Here's the steps to come through. Jumps in the Cloudburst to tuck the actual drone scan. Comes out, just not quite able to find what he's looking for. And what can you really do there? 1v4, tough. Hate to see it. This team's going to be low money, so around it's going to be tough to win. We'll try their bust, and we're getting a 4-man Odin spray down garage door. That doesn't tell you how this game's been going. I don't know what does.
Yeah. I mean, if I saw that, I'd just leave the game. But regardless, will be the Odin gamers rising up here for Converse, and I did everything looking to work inside and find Lakirio's skull. But Darkest will be good for one with this Odin. And the Seekers will be popped. Dr. Turtles lying in wait over towards this side. Will spot Darkest along with Paco. They take down the hot hand, and Darkest falls. This might be the first time your Kingsmen can actually get onto one of these sites and play for this post plant.
Enemy kill.
Behind it, though, able to find the frag
Spike planted.
regardless. Was with a quick trade, so they've locked down the B site. I know it's though. Brandon Neighbor will probably jump the top box here for early info. Instead, we'll get that info towards spawn. He's gonna stick the
One
TP.
enemy remaining.
Surely the Astra knows. Yep, definitely will. We'll have the frag.
Settled.
Simple stuff there from the Kingsmen. And
Switching
finally,
sides.
deal with Darkest early on, and that aggression bites Converse there, and they will drop that last round, but still 11-1 here,
I've got enough time
going
to go
towards
into the astral
pistol.
form.
And for the Kingsmen, if you have any cheesy strats, now's the time to pull them out.
Send that Cypher over to solo hold A. Would be the player to do it. Has the utility to make it happen. They'll supplement the Astra utility to help towards the Reyna towards C. Hopefully that gravity well is pretty dang strong, though. Because this Reyna's going to be looking at a big push coming up here in just a second.
Oh, man. It's going to be tough to work through. We'll have one
Have the B players to
star.
move, though.
Yeah, they will have the rotation. It's just going to be a matter of time. They might have actually spotted that jump peak, so now Blitz will move his way inside. There's the updraft. He's now on top of the box, and Dr. Turtles is going to be swarmed with ammo. Wes drops as well. I did everything still inside of the smoke. Will drop down, and Darkest good for two. And pick up right where they left off, and Converse just don't care about the Kingsman defense, and they waltz onto C-site.
Last
Yeah, really,
player
the-
standing.
Okay. Darkest find a third. Last player going to be CT. He's out of bullets. GG's.
Oh,
Almost reloads and still gets the frag. Will just set up Wildfire to take it instead. Match point for Converse. And then the Kingsmen, they do everything right
Match
there. They send
point.
one player back. They have utility to supplement. The Gravity Well going to stall the push just a bit. It leaves 2 players to side, and that's it to deal with. The rotation from B gets there in more than enough time to have the opportunities for the gunfight. And even after all that is said and done, Darkest walks away with 2 kills, has opened the site wide open, has cut the rotation, and still Converse are able to take an easy round. Literally just outgunning them.
Well, if you're getting outgunned, let's get some Buckies here. It's going to be double Buckies for the Kingsmen playing these close quarters.
Oh, huge. No, he gets
spotted. He
darted!
doesn't even get rid of the dart, and Lacurio works his way forward. And a gut-wrenching play there from Wes. Doesn't find the shot. Darkness from the rear takes down Turtles.
Spike down.
Good trade
C.
there for I Did Everything. Finds one. But right now, it is a tornado rampaging through the Kingsmen. They have nothing they can do to stop this onslaught. Brain Dead Aimer will be good for one more. And now Paco, waiting inside of the smoke. He will drop down, and Brain Dead Aimer confirms it. 13-1 scoreline for Converse. They come up and only give Kingsmen 5 rounds for the whole series, Catnator. Just unlucky. Just, that's kind of how it went.
You know, I'll tell you this, Camel. Okay, look. I get it, man. I get it, chat. Okay, wasn't very close game. Yeah, okay, fine. But the scoreline is not the whole story, man.
You're right.
We got to see good rotations. We got to see a glimpse of adaptation on the attacking side from this team. They did start to try to work around mistakes. They played their win conditions of, instead of defaulting, losing early gunfights, play together, try to burst execute off of contact. Just the issue being for them, when they made adaptations, when they made smart utilistic decisions, they got beat by gunfire, baby. And at the end of the day, it's attack shooter. The tactics are half the title. Shooter is the other. And Darkest more than knows that latter half. Sometimes that's just how it goes, man. You get outgunned and you get outgamed.
Yeah, outgamed, true gamer, and he was just pushing, especially on Haven. We really saw how confident he was, pushing through mid, pushing through window. A couple seconds into the round, he really just was playing against bots. It really felt like AI versus Darkest. But at the end of the day, great showing there from Converse, and this really, shows to the rest of the league, watch out for us.
Oh, no, absolutely. This team's terrifying. Now they're up 2-0, and I don't know what stops them. We'll see what happens for Kingsmen, man. They're 0-2 now. They definitely could use some wins somewhere, but they've still got teams in their group. They still haven't played everybody yet, man. They still got a couple more showings around, and then they've got a nice little VOD to look at here. 2 maps instead of 3, but 2 maps are better than none, so they get a chance to look at this one before they inevitably have to play this opponent again. Remember, it is double round robin, so they will play these first 2 opponents again, and hopefully we get better showings from them there, and that goes with the other 4 opponents to come in the future. So still plenty of teams for them to face. Still a chance to come back here. And if these are the only 2 teams they can't beat, they'd still realistically make the playoffs. So not done just yet.
Absolutely. Quick VOD review, too. That's always good. So won't really eat into their time schedule. Just about an hour and a half. Definitely something they can work on. But regardless, it has been a great stream. It's been a great cast working with you, Catnator, as always, man. It's always a pleasure. Thank you to Hyper for producing, making our lives easier, giving some banter while we talk things out. And thank you as well to Annie, doing a great job with observing and making some great free cam work. Really was immaculate. Definitely a good job there as well. So, Catnator, if you have nothing else to say, wrap this thing up.
Yeah. Unified Premier League, Tuesday and Thursday. 1 match a day, 1 highlighted game out throughout this league play. And then April 12th is going to be inevitably the end of league play, and we'll jump into the playoffs. So, more games on the way, more to be on the lookout for, and hopefully we see you there.